People of God, you know what I want to tell you? It's always good for us to maintain a certain level of independence. In my opinion, I feel like the more we maintain our independence, you know, um, the more free we can be. And why I'm saying that is because, sometimes when people feel like you need them or you lack knowledge in a certain area, people will take the piss out of you. People will take advantage of you. And when you have knowledge, it can save you from being taken advantage of, you know, and being at the mercy of those who take advantage of people because of their lack of knowledge. You know, it even in the scripture, Jesus says that, it's written for lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed. Lack of knowledge, people perish, you know, and it's unfortunate, but the more you learn how to do for yourself and the more you maintain your level of independence, um, you be free to, continue to enjoy this life, explore life, and just live out your life without being taken advantage of. And, what made me think about this morning as I'm out here finishing up my oil change. I let my oil on. I've already changed the oil in all my cars, but I let my oil on the truck. I just let it drain overnight. And as I'm out here listening to the birds chirp, enjoying the fresh breeze and air, I was thinking about one of my neighbors. He's who's passed away. God rest his soul. And his wife, she ended up selling a home. They had a home near me, and when he retired and he received a large lump sum of money when he retired, and he paid cash for his home. So their home was paid for, and he had several cars and all different types of things. He was always into these old cars and stuff. But make a long story short, he ended up dying, and his wife, it was just her, you know, and she was all alone, and I feel sorry for her. Excuse me. But she had to sell the home. Well, that's how she sorted it out in her mind. In my opinion, I think she could have kept the home and maybe just started a job or something, but she sold it. And then I also, she came over one day to talk with me. She was really hurt and sad. She said she just couldn't afford it. She can't afford to pay the bills. And really the only bill they had was electricity, water, and taxes every year, and I guess whatever cable bills and phone bills she would have. But she couldn't afford that. She never worked, and she didn't know how to do anything. When he would be out fixing the cars, he would be working on stuff. I never saw her outside with him. I never saw her learn or do anything. And in my opinion, I would just trying to advise her because she said she had to move back away with her sister, and I would have thought the wise thing would do to keep the property and rent it out. At least you're making an income every month. But she sold the home and took that money and went and moved with her sister. And it was unfortunate, you know, the situation that happened to her. But I always kept that in mind. This was years ago, but I always, kept that in mind. Even if there's a time in this lifetime where I were to get married, if by chance there is a Boaz out there that finds me and I were to get married, I would still learn. I would still learn. Even if my husband takes over some of the responsibilities, which would be a blessing that I keep up with now, um, I would still be with him, like if he needs me, or, and I just find certain things interesting anyway to learn, or just to keep company beside him, whatever he's doing sometimes. It's just a good thing to learn. Never lose your independence, you know, because obviously she didn't work. She never worked, and, she just stayed at home. I never saw her. She didn't really get out and do much. And it's hard to go back to these workforces in this day and time when you're not self-employed, because you got so many I wouldn't say young folk because there's some mature young folk, but you just got a lot of wickedness and unrighteousness that people have to deal with in a lot of these workforces today. A lot of people don't have the spirit of God in them, and so when you're older, you don't want to deal with that. You know, there's a situation where one of my cousins was telling me about a lady. She's dealing with trauma and crazy stuff on the job, and she's near retirement. That's not right. You know, that's not right. You have the enemy will try to attack you in any way that he could, and so nobody wants to go back to these to these workforces at a later age in life. So it's good to learn as much as we can learn and try and maintain our levels of independence. And even if you get to the point where you don't feel like doing something, and you um, get somebody to do it for you, pay somebody to do it for you, you know what they're doing. And then if you find somebody that really doesn't know how to do something, then you can train them, and you're paying them to do something, and they're also learning a skill. So not only are they getting paid for their time, but they're learning a skill because you're passing it down, you know. That's one of my elders. Like I said, his wife is retired. These people are, they're millionaires. They're set. They still own their businesses. But his wife, she don't feel like going back to work, and she doesn't have to. She's put her time in. They own their business. Everything they have is paid for. They have millions of dollars worth of equipment that's paid for, and they're still making a good income. And he's, the husband, he still likes to work, and he doesn't like to do a lot of the things that he used to do. So got he have employees that he's given an opportunity, and they stick by his side because he treats them right. He's a God-fearing man. He pays them well, and he teaches them. They didn't have no job experience, no experience doing many of the things that he has them doing, but he taught them from his knowledge, and they learned. They took up those skills, and they've been with them for several years now. And his business is still doing good, even in his old age, and he's still enjoying his company. You know, so I just think it's good for us to maintain a certain level of independence, maintain our independence, and it protects us from being taken advantage of, and take in as much knowledge that we can take in. While we have the internet available, you can learn how to do so many different things now, right? Without having to pay a high tuition bill, and going off to school for certain things. There's certain things you can just learn. If you order books, you can learn things, read books. You can get on the internet and look up things. So that's just my little 2 cents. It's good when we maintain our independence. It protects us from being taken advantage of and being at the mercy of wolves. you know. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Have a blessed day.